Lesson 3, and we start from Tashma, and we'll get till Amarava. Till Amarava, not including. So Tashma means come and listen or come and hear. And it's going to be a question on Rabbi Yochanan. We had before a machlekes between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak about someone that fell down. And during the time that he was using to stand up, which means he didn't have enough time to stand up, someone else tripped over him. The question was he responsible to warn the person even though he was busy standing up? Rabbi Yochanan had said that he was not responsible to warn. Nachman bar Yitzchak said you're responsible to warn the person. So we thought maybe in the class that it takes 2 seconds to stand up. We practiced it, and some of the boys stood up in 2 seconds. In this case, there's 3 people falling down, as you'll see, and I put it in the street, 3 people falling down. We'll see this Gemara. So one more time, Rabbi Yochanan holds that a person that's trying to get up is not responsible to warn the person because he's busy trying to stand up. So Toshma, come in here. HaKadarim v'Azagogin. Kadarim are potters. Put that in. Zagogin are glass sellers. Just leave it as glass. Actually, let's put that in. See if we can squeeze it. They sell glass. Shayim mahalchim zeh achar zeh, that are walking one after another. So in our case, we have 3 people, and these guys are already falling. But what happened in this case was niskal harishain v'nafal. The first one tripped, and he fell. That would probably be this guy. Let's make a number 1 in his face. Actually, let's change the color so we'll see it clear. That would be number 1. Number 2, and it's a little tiny guy. Number 3, okay. So, Niskal Harishain Vinafal, the first one fell. Viniskal Hasheni Barishan, and the second person fell over the first person. Now, Vahashlishi Basheni, and the third person fell over the second person. So 1, 2, and 3, they fell like dominoes. So the halacha is that Rishon Chayiv B'Nizkei Sheni. The first one is responsible for the damages that he caused to the second one. No one's going to be able to pay for the first one's damage. He fell himself. But at least the second one fell over the first one. The first one would be responsible for that. V'Sheni Chayiv B'Nizkei Shlishi. The second one is Chayiv for the damages that he caused to the third one. Now, V'Imachmas Rishon Naflu Rishon Chayiv B'Nizkei Kulam. This is an interesting case. This would be, the Gemara later says that if someone fell like this, and someone fell over him there. Actually, let me make him closer to the guy. So he's falling over him like this. And this one fell over him like, whoops, like that. So then they fell over the same guy. So it's like he was laying across the street, either diagonally or directly across. So then the first one would be responsible. But if they fell like dominoes, then the second one is responsible for the third. It doesn't go back to the first one. If they warned one another, then Peturim, then they're going to be pater. So warning would stop the chiyuv, the obligation. So Gemara understands this case. My lav is it not? But the actual word my means what, not why. My lav means what not. But in context, it's translated as is it not? My lav means is it not that they did not have to. Actually, I should read that straight, but it's a question anyway. So my lav is it not that they did not have to, that they were not able to stand up. They weren't able to stand up, and nevertheless, we said that they were chayiv. I put in blue chayiv all the times that they were chayiv. The first one's chayiv for the second one's chayiv for the third one. It's because it was within 2 seconds. Now here's our timer. They were not able to stand up, and they're chayiv anyway. Now, how could you make them responsible? Well, Reb Nachman bar Yitzchak has the answer. They're responsible because they were responsible to warn. They didn't warn. They're chayiv. According to Rabbi Yochanan, we have a question. They're not responsible to warn. They didn't have enough time to stand up. They did nothing wrong. Why are they responsible? So this Tashma is a question on Rabbi Yochanan, but it's based on an assumption that they did not have the time to stand up. The Gemara immediately says, Loi. No, that's not the case. Shahayalam Lama, they were able to stand up, and that's why it's chayiv. It's no question on Rabbi Yochanan. But now the Gemara goes on and says, Avaloyalam Lamed, what would be in that case if they were not able to stand up? Lamed means to stand, right? To get out of the way. And Haya Lahem means ability for them. Haya, let's make it as able. Eloi Haya were not able, but if they were not able to stand, so what would the din be? They would be pater. Okay, now this seems to be a little problem. So we resolved the Resha. We said that they didn't have, they were able to stand up, and that's why they're going to be chayiv. Now, if they were not able to stand up, then we would assume that they would be pater. This fits with Rabbi Yochanan. But the Gemara now asks, Ihachi, if so, aditani seifa, instead of saying in the seifa, or in place of saying in the seifa. Now, let's put a, let's try to change the color so we can see that the seifa is actually some real words. This is the seifa. I'm making it in color, so but imagine that that's a quotations. The seifa says, Im hizhiru zeh, that if they warned one another, pater. We just read that right over here, right? This is the seifa. I'm thinking we should put that in, so you'll see the matching. We'll do it again like this. Put that in the same color. The Gemara has a question on the fact that it says that. The Gemara asks, Lifleg v'lisni b'dida. Let's divide and learn it with itself. In other words, let's replace the Seifa with two cases of the Resha. The Resha was talking about when they didn't warn each other. And one case would be chayiv, which that's the case that we have. Another case would be pater, and we would say it like this: Bamed dvarim amurim. This is what we would like the seifa to say. When did we say those words that were chayiv? Shahayalem lamed. That's only if they were able to stand up. Avaloyayalem lamed. But if they were not able to stand up, what would the din be? Peturin. So why does the seifa not say that? Let's make it a little darker. Why does the seifa not say that the case of pater is when they were not able to stand up? It must be because if you're not able to stand up, you're still chayiv. Why? Because you should have warned. So we're back with a support for Reb Nachman Bar Yitzchak that you're responsible to warn. Okay, it's not complicated. It's just you just have to follow the flow here. Just one more time. The Resha says chayiv, the Seifa says pater. The case of the Seifa of being pater is when they warned one another. The Gemara is thinking, according to Rabbi Yochanan, it could have said the case of pater would be when he was not able to stand up, and Rabbi Yochanan holds that you're not responsible to warn, and you weren't able to stand up, you should be pater anyway. We don't have to come on to this new case of warning, and that's when he's going to be pater. So the Gemara now says, Hakamash Malan, rather it's coming to teach us, the Afal Gav Dahayalem Lamaid, even though they were able to stand up, but Kiyazir Zeh Peturin. But if they warned one another, I guess I should have written that in. Should have wrote it here. Then they would be pater. And it's the chiddush is that even something that's illegal, this is the chiddush of the Seifa, even though it's illegal to do this, to lay on the floor more time than you need, you're just laying in the middle of the street, but nevertheless, you would still not be responsible if you warn the person to go around you, even though you had enough time to stand up. But you're able to exempt yourself from payment if you warn the people, and if they stripped on you anyway, then you're not responsible. Okay, that is the answer to how Rabbi Yochanan would be able to hold that you're not responsible to warn. And what we're saying is that the case of the Resha is when you did have time to stand up and you didn't. The case of the Seifa is when you still had time to stand up and you didn't stand up, but because you warned, you would be pater. However, in the case of not having time to stand up, you would actually be pater anyway, and that fits with Rabbi Yochanan.